We're in the TIS off-road booth with a monster Jeep Gladiator. I love these fenders. Look like it's all bodyguard, skid plate side steps. We got 44-inch Mickey Thompson tires with some worn beadlock wheels. I like this front bumper. The whole thing is rhino line in a really cool color, but I really like the back. Check this out. Well, we got, looks like 1-ton Curry axles underneath there. That's very important when you have 44-inch tires. Anti-rock whole billet control arms, and in the back I like this rack. It's an extrusion rack with some max tracks up there, a full-size spare, and then I like how this tonneau cover protects everything in the back. Really clean diesel Gladiator. We got the Rebel Off-Road Atlas here with huge, this is like 1.5-ton Curry axles, nuts. You got King shocks, a little Rebel Off-Road dampener mount right there, which is cool, especially if you're renting this thing hard. 40-inch Nittos on it, Rockslide Engineering side steps. You got the Casey Highlight rack on there. I believe this is a Rebel Off-Road rack with some Rome Adventure Gear cases, but I really like the back. Check out this setup. So this is the full truck bed delete, tons of storage up there, rooftop tent. You got a mount for your fishing poles. This is an adventure vehicle that is fantastic. And in the back, we're not done. Full-size spare tire. Might be kind of hard because these things are about 100 pounds to take this off. But you got a whittle ladder, you got a little propane tank, some jerry cans, and if you come over on the back here, it just continues additional places to mount your gear and accessories. Rebel Off-Road always does good stuff, and with Curry and 40-inch Nittos and some, looks like Rebel or maybe Curry Industry, I don't know what wheels these are, but they are beadlock and pretty insane. There's a lot going on this drop racks Jeep Gladiator here. You got the Ironman 4x4 front bumper, integrated light bar, which I really appreciate and like. RC winch, which I haven't heard of them, but on the side here, I'm not sure what wheels, those are TIS off-road wheels. Now check this out. It's the drop rack system, so the entire rack will actually come down just with a lever, so if you don't want to get up and on top of your rig for things like paddle boards or bikes or storage racks, really cool solution that comes back down. We have the Venturous canopy on there. That is mold injected fiberglass, which is stronger and lighter than traditional fiberglass, which you could see with this weight and the rack on there, it still holds up. You don't see that very often with fiberglass. Really cool Jeep Gladiator build, and I really like these doors. The interior brown saddle leather is just absolutely fantastic, but there's some really cool things happening on this awesome Gladiator. And behind me is a Gladiator on steroids with one of the cooler wrap jobs I've seen. I love how it fades from black into this really cool zombie apocalyptic design. You have NT tires, I'm not sure what, or NT wheels with Baja Boss 37-inch tires. Those are the Mickey Thompsons. The suspension is a Rock FSG Black, which looks pretty heavy duty. I like all the control arms are all painted gold, really cool. But what I really like about it is the ARS, the Adventure Rack Systems rack, and these metal cloak fenders. Those are going to allow you to have additional clearance, but the complete design of this with the Pelican cases on top, this is an apocalyptic vehicle that you'll definitely want. You got some metal cloak side steps right here. The fenders keep on going on the back, and on the back rear bumper, I'm not sure what bumper it is, but it's very sleek and awesome. OneDayWraps.com did the wrap. Good job on this. Overall, I like it a lot, and we can't have a rig without pointing out the Alpha X tail and front headlights. Really cool system. I like the rack. Check out this monstrosity of a Gladiator behind me. You have some ridiculously thick Mickey Thompson Baja Pro X3 mud tires, and the suspension setup is worth more than most people's cars. You got Fox shocks right there, all long travel, a super awesome sway lock. With such big tires, if you want to unlock that sway bar and or just regular steering, you got to make sure you upgrade everything in the rig. His name is Rocky. He likes warm hugs and dirt trails, and overall, really cool build that has for sure seen some rocks and some trails. We got a best top Jeep Gladiator behind me with some Baja Boss 40-inch tires. It looks like we have Vulcan shocks on it. Its name is Escape with the Nemesis off-road fenders on here, but the RR, what is that, Rough Ridge, I think inner fenders, which is interesting. You got a little stubby bumper. I'm not even sure what brand that is, but I like the color scheme on this, going with the yellow and the black, looks pretty cool. And really the interior, I think where this thing shines, you got all the yellow stitching to match the exterior with these leather seats, custom leather seats. That's pretty cool. I like these side steps right here / rock sliders. This thing could definitely hit the trail and do some fun. You also got, looks like Dana 60 axles on it. Pretty cool build. This Gladiator is not like your normal Gladiators, mostly because the engine has been swapped with the LS3, nice little Corvette engine in there, and for good measure, because when you have that much power, you need to make sure to protect your axles. We filmed this last year. They had just put on the Portal axles on it. Seems to be a trend happening right now with some Bilstein racing shocks. Rockslide Engineering front bumper on here, and of course, it wouldn't be a Rockslide Engineering truck without some Rockslide Engineering side steps. That flips up, and now you have rock sliders. Super rad. Really cool rack system in the back too, but that Corvette engine, I don't even think you need this rack. Just go fast and have fun. Rad. I got an RSO suspension Jeep Gladiator behind me. The suspension setup on this thing is pretty gnarly. I mean, comparable to maybe a Fox 2.5 series shock. I've never ridden it before. It looks pretty cool. Really clean build on Maximus. In the back, we got the Kuwait rack. This thing is a lot larger than some of the other racks that we've seen, but still the cool thing about the Kuwait system is it's all like a backbone system. You don't have a ton of panels and everything weighing you down. This gives you the flexibility to change it out how you want, and also mount anything you want on the top and the sides without necessarily taking a bunch of room and a bunch of weight, which is the downside of canopies. They tend to be heavier, but at the same time, this is a really good hybrid solution that still integrates the roll and lock tonneau cover. All right, I don't know what's going on with the Jeep behind me, but its name is R2 Jeep 2, Star Wars themed. The wheels, I think, are really sick. Look at this. It's got a little custom R2D2 cover on there, and of course, a paint job to match. Looks like they bobbed a Wrangler or just turned a Wrangler into a truck bed, but it's incredibly short wheelbase, or they just took a two-door and then modified it. I'm not sure what they did here, but you got some wakeboard speakers in the back. Really cool custom work. Really good job on this. Extrusion Overland. Behind me is the Grinch sitting on some huge tracks right here. This has a RSO suspension, EV8, looks like long travel. This thing is wild. I'm hoping that it's a diesel, although I don't see the diesel badge. In the back, we got some we got some snowboard racks, some wakeboard speakers for good measure. This thing is just a fun vehicle. I think my Canadians watching this right now will be like, oh my God, that's so great. Southern California folks, not so much, but the Grinch.